Coming up on the San Francisco 49ers report, Brock Purdy struggled in his return to the practice field coming off that elbow surgery 4.5 months ago. The defense was very, very impressive. They certainly won the day. We also are going to pass along some other day 2 training camp notes. Obviously, the big story here is about Brock Purdy. Struggling, looked a little bit rusty. The good news is, doesn't look as though he's lost any velocity, and he's going to continue to be a confident guy because Mr. Relevant last year was a confident quarterback. But threw an interception, struggled in 11-on-11s. So let's tee up today's poll question. Are you concerned about Purdy? Because right now he doesn't look ready to be this team's starting quarterback. I understand it's day 2 of training camp, but answer the question. Y for yes, N for no, and with that, let's start today's show. I'm Chase Senior. This is the San Francisco 49ers report. No matter where you are, how you're tuned in, we appreciate you for making today's show a part of your day. We also appreciate Kanzuri for making today's program possible. 15% off at kanzuri.com/chat. So much to get to after day 2 of training camp, but first, Kanzuri. Have you ever wished, to my fellas out there, you were a little bit taller? Maybe you matched on Tinder, but her profile says must be over 6 feet tall. Maybe your date wants to wear heels, but she can't because it'll make her taller than you. We have the short homies covered with today's sponsor, Kanzuri. They make shoes that make you up to 2.8 inches taller without anyone knowing, but also you don't need the height increase. They have stylish shoes as well if you're in the market for some new kicks. Look, girls get heels, makeup, push-up bras. Why can't men get a confidence boost as well? Kanzuri shoes, not only height boosting, but also stylish and comfortable. They're not grandpa's Velcro shoes, but instead fashionable shoes that can receive compliments even without that height boost. The height insoles integrated into the shoes, making it the ultimate height hack. For a limited time, our listeners and viewers get an extra 15% off your order at kanzuri.com/chat. The site is already 30% off, and with our link, you get that extra 15% off. You do the simple math, that's 45% off your entire order. Support our show. Check them out, kanzuri.com/chat. That's kanzuri.com/chat. So, okay, day 2 of 49ers training camp, it's in the rear view. It was a much anticipated practice because Brock Purdy, after sitting out yesterday, did return to the practice field. The throwing program for Purdy, even though he's not going to be a limited participant, he's going to be limited somewhat by San Francisco. They don't want him throwing 3 days in a row. That's why he sat out yesterday. He threw today. He'll throw tomorrow, then another off day just to recover from that elbow injury and any soreness that might come about. In his return from surgery, he did have a rough first practice back. Doesn't look ready to start, but it's way too early to say that you're going to be concerned or that he's not going to be a good player this year. Let's wait and see, because all the quarterbacks today struggled against this stout San Francisco defense. Here is the good with Brock Purdy. He's back practicing. He really needs the reps. He's only a year 2 player. Only started in several games last year. Like, he just needs to be on the field and adjust to how defenses are going to adjust to him. So that's point number 1. Point number 2, the arm looked strong. He looked strong. Even in his workouts, I saw the quads, and I'm like, okay, so you had that elbow injury. You've been able to add some strength to that lower half, which is important for torque, for power, velocity, all that, because we know to throw the football, to throw a baseball, you need that lower body strength. The velocity did not appear to dip for Brock Purdy either. That was also a massive concern. You're coming off this UCL repair, not a full reconstruction, but it's a severe elbow surgery to that Tommy John ligament. So there were concerns to be had about the velocity going down for a quarterback who doesn't really have a bazooka for an arm. He also unleashed some long throws. He missed them to Jawan Jennings and Deebo Samuel, but he was at least willing to make some of those long throws, and the arm looked strong in the process. As for the bad with Purdy here, the first 2 throws, they were incomplete. And the second throw, intercepted by Deshaun Gibson on a bad read. He doesn't right now look as though he's ready to start. Why should he, though? And why should people be overly concerned? They shouldn't be. Because you look at this Brock Purdy injury timeline, the dude has come back in 4.5 months after undergoing UCL surgery back on March 10th. He started throwing a football only on May 29th. He was cleared to start training camp on July 25th. A couple of days later, he's throwing the football, and there is still some time for Purdy to work out the kinks, to get back in the groove, and to knock off the rust, because the season opener not happening until Sunday, September 10th against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The quarterback stats on day 2. Purdy, not good. He was 2 of 9, and he threw an interception. Trey Lance didn't overwhelm anybody. He was 2 of 5 with a drop pick. Purdy, by the way, did have a couple of passes dropped by his wide receivers. Sam Darnold didn't necessarily pop. He was 3 of 5, and then Brandon Allen, 4 of 5 as well. I think it's a good sign here that Purdy overthrew Deebo and Jennings. If all he wanted to do was be check down Charlie and be that dink and dunk passer, we've had that conversation a lot here on the show, that's a concern. If he doesn't want to push the ball down the field because he feels as though his arm isn't ready, that's worrisome. He was willing to throw it, and you have to think, the dude hasn't played any 11-on-11s. This is his first practice of the offseason. He couldn't partake in OTAs or minicamp. This is the first time he's out on the field with his teammates. You expect him to be a little bit rusty, and both of those passes that were overthrows traveled 40, 45 yards in the air. He also zipped a 20-yard dot to Brandon Aiyuk. And I don't really care who the quarterback is for this football team. It sounds weird to say, but with all of the weapons on this team, as long as you're accurate and you can deliver the football on time with precision, this Niners offense can be successful. Are they going to win a Super Bowl with mediocre quarterback play? No. Can they win a lot of games, put themselves in a position to make the playoffs, win this division? For sure. That's how talented this team is. Brock Purdy asked about his struggles. He knew that was going to come, and he was cool, calm, and collected, taking the heat. There's obviously some rust that I have to work off. Now, tomorrow, I'm interested to see how he rebounds. I want to see if Purdy's going to be able to throw the long ball, if there is any remaining soreness. I guarantee you practice ended a little while ago. He's still in the training room right now working on that bow. The overarching point here, all of the quarterbacks need reps for this football team. You have Trey Lance, he hasn't played enough football. You have Purdy, didn't take a snap this entire offseason up until today, and is still inexperienced. You have Sam Darnold, who's been a wildly inconsistent quarterback in this league, and he's trying to grasp this offense. I think that it's a bad decision for Kyle Shanahan to not give maximum reps to Brock Purdy, Trey Lance, and Sam Darnold. The 49ers have to, at some point, think about moving on from Brandon Allen and think about cutting it. Yes, he was the backup for Joe Burrow the last couple of years, but any reps that he gets instead of the quarterbacks who are actually going to move the needle for your football team is a problem for San Francisco. Some people are panicking about this. It's day 2 of training camp. If this continues, though, and we continue to see this trend, that's when I have an issue. With Trey Lance, we talk about the change in mechanics here. There is a pretty big switch-up, adjustment, and overhaul to his mechanics. This picture to the left, August 7th, 2022. You see how loopy the arm motion is, where the elbow is, it's out, it's extended, and the throwing motion, I should say, long and loopy. It goes down to his kind of waist area, his thigh area, and it takes a long time to deliver the football. July 26, 2023, everything's more tucked, everything's more concise, and it's a little bit quicker. Now, if you like our content here on the 49ers Report, I would put what I do, what we do here on the channel, up against anybody out there. If you like what we do and you want to stay informed with this football team with videos every single day, live shows, watch parties, entertaining, informative, insightful analysis, make sure you hit that subscribe button as we continue to grow. We're going to get to 100,000 subscribers this year. At least that's my hope. Shows every day. Lock us in for more training camp coverage as well. More takeaways from day 2 of camp here. The defense clearly won the day, and Steve Wilks had that unit humming. And the 49ers are going to have a chance to be a player in the NFC and in the National Football League as long as that defense continues to be elite. I don't think we're at a point in the NFL nowadays where defense wins championships. I think the better offense beats the better defense, but having a solid defense or an elite defense, in this case for San Francisco, it at least puts you in that conversation. As for what you can expect from Steve Wilks as compared to DeMeco Ryans, the coverage rates here from the Niners last year under DeMeco Ryans to the Carolina Panthers with Steve Wilks, there are some similarities, but some telling differences. Niners last year, cover 3, 40.4%. Carolina, 42%. Cover 2 for San Francisco, 13.4%. That was slashed in half for what Wilks likes to do. It can have to do with personnel as well at 6.3%. Cover 4, 16.7% for the Niners. Cover 4 for Carolina last year, 20.4%. Man, 17.1% for San Francisco, and then 20.3% for Carolina, and then zone 77.2 for San Francisco last year, and for Carolina 72.8. Steve Wilks was also more aggressive in blitzing after the quarterback, and I think that aggressiveness is going to make this Niners defense potentially a little bit better in 2023 as compared to 2022. Kickers are people too, as we like to say here on the show. Jake Moody on the day, the third-round pick, a lot of pressure on him. And if he loses that mental confidence, that's obviously a massive problem because he has that pressure in the back of his mind knowing, I'm a third-round pick. I'm taking over for Robbie Gould. The dude never missed a field goal in his postseason career. And now I'm playing for a Super Bowl contender, and I'm stepping into this role as a third-round pick when the Niners had other needs that needed to be addressed, and they took me, who was clutch at Michigan. We'll see if that carries over. Today, good start. Didn't really kick yesterday. 6 of 6 on his field goals. Drake Jackson, let's talk about him. Starting to flash already. Kyle Shanahan said, you need to be in better shape. You need to have more stamina. You can't wear down late in the year like you did last year. He took that to his mind. He took that to his heart. Added 15 pounds this offseason. Stayed at the facility all offseason to weight train. If he can up his stamina, the play and the talent and the possibilities and potential are certainly there for Jake Jackson. He was drafted in the second round for a reason. You're paired up with the best defensive line coach in football in Chris Kosaric. It's up to you, my man, to show what you can do in this league. And you have a great opportunity to get some one-on-one matchups opposite of Nick Bosa where you can feast on those one-on-ones. If you wear down, though, you're not going to get those opportunities. It looks as though he understands the moment at hand here. And if he plays well, he's going to start on this defensive end spot with Cleveland Ferrell as his backup. If he doesn't play well, if he does wear down, Ferrell's coming for his gig. If all this talk has you pumped up for San Francisco, hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. I'm hyped up. I hope you all are as well. And if you're still watching, give me a subtle real one down in the chat.